Hello, good afternoon, ladybugs and yellow jackets. I am Fairy Princess Lolly, and I'm here with you today, Sunday. Happy 4th of July for Handmade Home Shopping, the 5th of July edition. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. I'm very excited with our lineup today, and it's a beautiful day out there. In fact, it was so beautiful yesterday that I was in doubt that it was actually even the 4th of July, because at least here in the Kingdom of Storms, it pretty much rains every year on the 4th of July. But welcome to the show. And before I jump into it here with our first artist who is there on the screen, I want to say please hit that like and subscribe and ring the bell button for us. And also today's show is sponsored by Pixie Hollow Travel Company. And Pixie Hollow Travel Company is a full service travel agency that is dedicated to providing you with the best travel experience for everyone in your hollow. Whether you're looking to travel to the next borough or across the pond, although I'm not sure that right now, if you're coming from the New World, you can go across the pond. They will use their knowledge and expertise along with your feedback to provide you the best value and to focus on your individual travel needs, creating a lifelong bond with the company and yourself, welcoming you as part of that family. So please feel free to fly on over to Facebook and like them. And if you are looking to possibly book something here, at least within the continental US for sure, you can email them at celticpixie73@gmail.com, and all of that information is there going across the screen for you. So thank you so much, Pixie Hollow, for sponsoring the show today. And with that said, I just, for anybody who is a new viewer out there, all of the information for the vendors that you are going to see this afternoon is in the low bar on YouTube and the description on ye old Facebook. You have to just press the little button to see more. I always feel like I need that little shop of horrors, guys, to see more. Anyway, every time I say that, see more. Yes, so all that information is in the low bar. Of course, we'll be going across the screen. And we have quite a few today who are using the magic word. And one second. Oh, it's beautiful out, but that basically is allergy time. And my nose is, in fact, doing a little bit of, I sat outside all yesterday and read books, basically. So I was right in the midst of, it was just too nice. So anyway, where was I going? Yes, today's magic word. Today's magic word is fireworks. Yes. So it was crazy last night. But without further ado, I will go ahead and we will welcome our very first vendor of the day, who is Phoenixx Factor Designs. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. It's good to see you.
Absolutely. I hope you did have a good 4th of July. Please, if you will, introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, what your business is, and if you have any home fairs or conventions or your kingdom or all of them. Give shout outs to your people. Say hello to them. So thank them for being here. Yeah.
Hey, hi. I'm so grateful to be here today. It's actually such great weather, as you said. So that's been super nice. I'm Jennifer, and I am with Phoenixx Factor Designs, or I am Phoenixx Factor Designs, and I work from home making wire-wrapped jewelry, accessories, anything you can dream up, we can make together. It's magic every time. I've been doing this for about 4 years, actually exactly 4 years last week. So that's a big
Oh, wow. Well,
for me.
congratulations.
Thank you. Home fairs. I grew up in Colorado, so my quote unquote home fair is at the Larkspur Fair in Colorado Springs or south of, and used to go there a lot with family. My brother worked there. My brother's best friend worked there. Just always lots of fun. And now that I'm in Oregon, my home fairs are Oregon Renaissance Festival and new to me, Washington Midsummer Renaissance Festival, which I got the opportunity to vend
Both.
at last year.
Oh, that's good because I was going to say both of those sadly canceled this year. So,
I know.
although,
I was waiting.
yeah, so everybody was pretty depressed with that news, at least around, at least regionally here. So, well, I'm going to turn the screen over
Definitely.
to you because it looks like you have some really, I see a bunch of things there in the background, and I'm excited to see what you have. So I'm going to turn the screen over to you and let you show us your amazing work.
Yes, there is a lot of stuff in the background, way more than, I wanted to show, but hey, this is my workshop, so you get to
Oh, and your
see.
ear. I see your ear.
Oh.
You turned your head sideways? Yeah, and then I was like, oh, look at that.
I wore these just for you, Lolly.
Oh,
These
thank
are
you.
one of the things that I make are my elf ear cuffs or fairy ear cuffs. These ones happen to be rainbow in support of Pride last month. And those are one of my most popular items at the fair. They're super comfortable and very adjustable. And when you do buy from me in my booth, I'll give you a custom fitting to make sure that they fit perfectly just for you. So that always feels fun. I get to really connect with people doing that. In the background, I have some of my really fancy stuff. This one is called, I have to figure out where the camera is. Here we go. This one is called Lumeria's Garden. No, Lemuria's Garden. I'm a little
Wow.
dyslexic. It's intense. It's probably the most intense piece that I made. This is a Cherry Creek jasper in the middle, and as you can see, it is just rife with detail. I spent many hours playing with this one until it was completed. The back is just as fun.
That is incredible.
It's enormous. But that is one of my favorite fantasy pieces.
It sounds like you're breaking up a little bit there. I don't know if that's you or me.
It might be me. My Wi-Fi is a little iffy. How are we now? So here's another piece. I just did this one in the last few months. This one is called Octopi or Bust. Clearly it's meant to be worn on your bosom. So Octopi your bosom. I liked bust, trying to keep it a little, PG. This is an agate, and all of these little suckers are beads. I have a lot of fun just getting weird and intricate with my pieces. And I like to do some whimsical stuff as well for all of those fairy lovers out there. Gosh, this camera thing is so weird. So here's my fairy, and she has abalone wings. Yeah, lots of fun stuff like that. I like to take suggestions from my following. I have a community page on Facebook, and I'll put stuff out every once in a while, a poll, and just say, what do you guys want to see? Keep me inspired, because not every idea can come from me all the time. But I love making stuff that's personalized to somebody's specific dreams or imagination, specific events. I had the great privilege of making my best friend's engagement ring a couple of years ago. We were super sneaky about it, her husband and I. She thought we were conspiring. We were. It was a lot of fun. And then, as you can see, I'm wearing one of my tiaras. It's still a work in progress. And I like to make stuff super functional, so you can flip it over and wear it the other way, however you like. Get creative. Yeah, there's so much. I found wire wrapping, gosh, it was many years ago. I used to volunteer at electronic festivals in the Pacific Northwest, and there's just so many creative folks there, and I started seeing wire wrapping, and it was just so intriguing. The possibilities were endless. So it took me a few years to finally start acquiring the materials and start looking into how to, how to learn how to do it. So I use a lot of YouTube videos. I use a lot of tutorials that I both find for free, but I also pay for them off of Etsy and through my wire wrapping communities. And I'm constantly trying to level up, trying to increase my skills and my abilities so that I can make more interesting stuff for people. I'm not sure how to flip my camera around. I'd love to show you more of my things. Maybe I'll just do this. This will be easier. So, yeah, what we're seeing here, more of the fairy ear cuffs. So I also make them in copper. The ones I have on are silver, sterling silver 925. I make them in copper with colored wire. I can make it match your outfit. I also do sterling silver rings with fun little gems in them. And I make big honkin' rings. This is another agate. I love fun stones. We can do earrings. And this one was fun. I'm not a very religious person myself. I'm spiritual, but a lot of people were asking about crosses at the Renaissance Festival. So this is my effort in that. And these are earrings that I made. This is my rough draft for my best friend's wedding earrings. So she got the same pair, but in sterling silver for her wedding. So I kept those because why not? All kinds of different stuff. These are fossilized coral donuts that I'm making for one of my wholesale accounts. Again, I do crowns, and we can get as big and crazy with it as you like, or as small as you want. Yeah, there's tons of things. I do leather cuff bracelets with wire wrapped stuff inside. And again, my elf ears, those are super popular. And I also do penannular brooches or cloak brooch. And gosh, really anything that pops into my brain, I can make magic happen. So that's me in a nutshell. I'm hoping you guys can still hear me. Gosh, what else can I tell you? I'm a nerd. I love getting dressed up in my Ren Fair gear. I have an outfit for every single day that I'm there. That's always different. So I've got my fairy outfits and pirate outfits. And I think my favorite thing about being at the Renaissance Festival, aside from seeing everyone else in their costumes, is being able to really create a universe with each person that I engage. Everyone has their own character and their own story, and they're all just really magical people who are expressing all of that all the time. And so I feel that being able to connect with them at the fair and having them connect with my work as well at the fair really creates that extra bit of magic that sometimes we don't get in our regular day. It's just a lot of fun. I have a great time doing what I do. Are we still on? I'm not sure. Hi. I'm going to put this back on because it's super fun. I was wearing this the other day when my friend came over to meet the puppy and totally forgot. And so it was just on my head the whole time. Here's another fun thing I made. It is actually a hat brooch, so it clips on onto the hat band for your fair hat or your gardening hat. You can do anything I work with seashells.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can. I'm so sorry. And I don't know how long I'm going to be here, apparently. Like, the internet gremlins got to my connection, I guess, and I've missed everything. I'm so mad.
Oh
I'm so
no.
sorry. Hanging there, and I'm sorry. I'm trying to get back in, and I was there for a second, then I was gone. And wow, I'm really surprised it didn't shut down my stream without me. That's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to leave you hanging like that.
That's okay. I hope I did all right. I talk and talk and talk when I'm at Faire. So I just tried to give you guys some interesting stuff about me.
Oh, well, I commend you on holding on, even though I got kicked off and you couldn't even see that had happened because I had given you the whole screen. And oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Anyway, I guess, wow. So that was some time that you filled in there. Here we have it's 4:20, and probably I should actually bid you adieu. I feel like such a jerk, like having that happen, even though I had no control over it. But now you're doing the magic word today, correct?
That's right.
I have you down for that anyway. Yes. Okay. So
Thank
the
you.
magic word is fireworks. And for all of you watching at home who have never joined us yet before, the magic word this week is fireworks. So if you order within the next week using the word fireworks in your checkout comments, then from Jennifer, then you will receive a surprise bonus gift with your order. So that is.
And
right?
I'm going to be doing an adjustable ring.
Oh, cool.
And
oh man, your rings are one of the things I wanted to look at too. And I just missed all of it. Ah!
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It is not your fault by any stretch of the imagination. So, okay. So with that said, I'm sorry that I missed it. And I will go and look at your lovely things on the interwebs when we're done for sure. Please, though, enjoy the rest of your afternoon since it's so beautiful outside. And thank you for being here despite our gremlin-y hiccups. It is a thing we're working on getting resolved, but it's
thank you so much for your time. I'm so glad to be here, and I hope the rest of your feed goes better.
Right? A little more smoothly. It's the first time that's ever happened. So, all right. Have a good one then, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Wow, I'm so super sorry about that, everybody. I have no control over it, and this is basically what's been going on for the past 2 weeks. So we are working on getting it fixed, but it is a process, and it's in its steps. So our next vendor today, I'm sorry, please bear with me if it happens again. There's nothing I can do except for what we are doing. So our next vendor though today is Divine Costume Designs with Tabitha, and I see you there in the backstage area. Tabitha, I'm bringing you in. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm nervous because this would be my first interview for my clothes. Can you hear me okay?
I can sort of. I am assuming that the public can actually hear you better than I can hear you because of internet gremlins on my end, which is kind of making people and myself go in and out. But it doesn't seem to be reflecting on broadcast. So, but please introduce yourself to the audience to tell us who you are, what you do, and give a shout out to your home fair / kingdom, etc. If you have any of those, and let's see what you've brought for us today, because looks like you've got some pretty cool garb back there. So I'm excited. Yeah. Assuming I get to stay on my own show.
So I called myself Divine Costume Designs, kind of like alliteration. So DCD made me very happy. My little OCD thing there. What I try to do is I try to research some Renaissance paintings, or I've been kind of broaching into the medieval section too. But then I modernize them, so a person who's not used to wearing like steel bone stays can actually still have that same look. As you can kind of see, I've modernized a lot of them. I do, hold on. Sorry, it's backwards. So I do guys clothes as well. It's just I don't do as many of them because I found they don't sell as quickly. And you can get more fancy, or sorry, you can get fancier on a girls and a little kids than most guys are comfortable wearing. But I did bring one just in case, so you guys can see the guys' clothes. I like to work with brocades, silks, imitation silks, a little bit of satin, but for a fitted bodice, satin can get tricky. Taffeta, it holds on a skirt really nicely. And what else? I make sure I line everything with cotton. This is actually an imitation silk, but all the bodices are lined with cotton. So look here. Sorry, let me move the chair out of the way so you can actually see some. So for example, this one is a little kid's one I've recently made. I've pared down, so originally there was usually a shift, potentially a stay, a bum roll, multiple petty skirts, and then the overdress. I pared that down to usually about 2 layers because what I do is I can either have a separate shift or I can build it into an underdress. And for kids and adults, there's a built-in stay. So right here, there's boning. There's also boning here. Not as important for children, but for example, with adults, so right here, there's boning. There's also boning here. Not as important for children, but okay. For an adult, a female, there's actually boning about every inch here. So we'll actually hold you in fairly well. To unlace this one would be a little difficult.
Now, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah. Go ahead.
How do you suggest going about washing such a thing or cleaning it?
So usually there's an underlayer, a shift, kind of what the white part you see on me. That is the layer you can wash in a machine because I usually make it with cotton. I really advise cotton, but open to whatever anybody wants. And for skirts, if anybody's ever worried about it, for example, you can see the cotton here. And on a bigger skirt, the backs are made with cotton. So if you have to spot wash your skirt, you can. But I would not advise really washing the bodice. That's why a lot of it is lined with cotton, so you can spot wash the cotton by hand. The shifts, however, you can throw in the wash. And that's historically fairly accurate because the shifts were the only layer that people would actually aggressively wash. That's why they would change them more often than any of their other clothes. The reason I say you can't really wash the bodice is because of the boning. So if you want to, I suppose you could dry clean it. But I would not advise machine washing. You're muted, just so you know. I wasn't sure. For the guys, it's very similar as well. As you can see from the different green, I also line the guys in cotton. You get cotton shifts, and usually I do the pants out of cotton. I have found trying to walk around in brocade pants or satin pants on the uncomfortable side. Completely open to doing them for people, but it's not something I do just to have them ready to go.
I actually didn't know that historically that it was only the under. I've learned something new today. I guess I just kind of thought they washed everything since that's sort of what we do.
You beat them.
But then that makes sense. The under part was the part that kind of got grody and dirty, but then the over part was the outward appearing. That makes so much sense, actually. why they did that.
A lot of like the lower class, the non-nobility outfits were made with wool, and wool will shrink.
Oh.
And there is a reason people
Itchy.
frowned when they were in their dresses. It gets very heavy.
Oh, that's so heavy. Yes.
It will get very heavy.
Heavy and tangly and all kinds of things. So
and shrink up when it dries out. So then your outfit's too small for you now. Not exactly the best thing when you couldn't afford another set of clothes.
Right. Well, I definitely. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I do know that they used to add different trims onto the bottom of skirts, which I do kind of replicate just for the look of it. That they would kind of take off and beat and wash because that's where all the dust goes. I replicate the look in almost of them.
It's pretty much impossible to get them clean around the hems once you have got all the dust and dirt on them anyway. As I have learned, perhaps the hard way. But so
I'm not joking when I say literally beating them helps. Take it outside, get a tennis racket.
Like a rug, kind of. Oh, a tennis racket. That's a good idea. So you two are now. You two are participating in the magic word also today. I'm going to bring us back here together, and hope that the internet will stick around for a second. I've dropped out, I think, 3 times during your presentation. So I'm sorry. I feel like I am not getting to be as interactive as I normally am, for which I apologize. But I am glad that it's not cutting you out and you're still getting to do your thing. So a question, though, if I may now, when people go to do you do custom work? Because I don't know if you said this, as I said, but like, do you do custom work, or what is your process like for making things for people afar, since we don't really have the opportunity to go to Faire and Fest and have those things made in person or sized in person?
So I start out with seeing what fabrics they want and a general idea of their size. You can find measurements on Etsy. I usually have like estimated measurements, and I give like a range for each size. Then if it's through Etsy or eBay, that's how it's done for the costs. But after I get that commission, I will message the person, ask for things like, is there any extra styling they wanted? What's your exact measurements? I take things like your bust, your ribs, especially for a female. The ribs is different because it tells me how much squishage there will be. Stays, so I try to understand how that shape will play out. Then I get the waist, the hips, the arm length. If there's going to be sleeves, is important. 2 different ones, so from shoulder to elbows, because as you can see, I can do different designs with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then from elbows to wrist, as well as a completed one to kind of fact check, basically. Once I've gotten those measurements and I've gotten the payment, I will go to the fabric store, buy the fabric requested. I can send pictures of fabric choices to the person through their email.
Oh, that's cool.
Text numbers, Etsy messages, eBay messages. So it can be a long process, but I would say it
gives you a better product at the end. I mean, that's quite attentive to the customer needs. Yeah. So that's a very good thing. especially with something that you're going to spend this kind of money on, and that is not exactly like, if you get the wrong size, you could just, return it real quick and get the right size.
Although with commissions, I have taken it back to adjust it a little bit. That is the benefit of commissioning me versus buying one that's already pre-done. I stand by the commissions, so I will get the size right. Like, it will happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of what's supposed to happen with a commission, I suppose. Like, a pre-done one is sort of, I mean, there it is. Like, it's already all out there, right? So
yeah,
a little WYSIWYG.
What we're doing there.
Well, so can I just ask you, how did you, where is it, and you may have said this at the beginning, I don't really recall, where do you take your design concepts from, or are they completely your own? Are they based on anything?
I do the most generic thing possible, and I Google Renaissance historic paintings or something like that. Just whatever I'm feeling in the mood for. And then cool. I tweak them to make them my own. I add the designs, I modernize them because again, most people are not used to wearing 6+ layers. And most of the United States weather is not set up for English weather. Where we
also true.
Other than that,
so thank you so much.
Uh-oh, we cut out again.
Before I let you go, before we bid one another adieu, I know that we did say you are participating in the magic word, and thus there will be some manner of bonus gift or surprise for anybody who places an order within the next week.
Okay. I actually spent like a week trying to think about what to make that would be a good sample of the kind of things I do. I came up with this idea, and I'll explain a little bit. It can function as a bag. This is a child size sample. It can function as a bag, but this is also made out of 100% cotton, 2 layers. So if you stretch it out, and I do promise it becomes a square at some point, you always know how much you kind of get a little sweaty in the Renaissance Fair, just being in the direct sun. It stretches out into a full handkerchief. So you can. So I basically call this a transforming reticule. And even the Renaissance guys had their own handkerchiefs because, it's not a modern thing to have overheating problems. And I think I got lost again. But yeah, so what I will do is it will have a lace trim. It is 2 layers of cotton. And it's a drawstring, which you can either use as a little purse. It can hang inside of the clothes. It can get stuffed up a wrist. You can put good smelling things in it. Pretty much whatever you want. And they will all be made out of cotton, white cotton, because the modern handkerchiefs always look white. Nice linen. I'm trying to stretch it back out. But that moment you're on a camera, everything just stops working for you. I know. Thank you for the comment. And she got lost again. So I don't know if I'm supposed to keep talking. I guess just to fill time until she gets back. So you can see the inside of the bodices. Like I said, we're completely lined with cotton. I try to match the colors so
Hi, you can hear me again.
Hello.
I'm sorry. I disappeared again. I really feel
it's happened again.
I'm a cartoon character and hire I'm just gonna explode off the top of my head. I'm so frustrated right now with this. Anyway, that handkerchief idea is the last thing that I saw, and that is an awesome idea. So
It also, in a pinch, it also works as a bun cover. So if you don't have a idea, this one's child size, but. And we lost her again. And to the comment from the live comments, I actually have made the masks before. This is only 2 layers. I would advise 3 or 4 different layers, just so you can make sure nothing is getting through. But in a pinch, you know, you're not wrong. Well, I think the goblins really, really want her off the internet. Maybe she's doing too good of a work and spreading too much goodness. Oh dear. The reason why I'm laughing is because I am reading the live comments as they come up. So, yeah. And she's loading, and she's loading, and she's loading. I do make little kids outfits, as you can see from here. This would be 4 to 5 years old. This is just 1 layer. This one also comes with like a shift and a skirt. Very minimal boning on children's outfits, unless it's requested, simply because there's not really much that needs to be supported on a child. I do know that this should not end. So there's boning here. Hi, I'm trying to fill your time as you disappear. I'm sorry.
No, I super appreciate it, and I'm so sorry. Like, it's just not a thing that should be put on you at all, but I really appreciate it. Hopefully we're gonna have a makeshift fix here in a second, but I don't know. So I'm going to bid adieu though, and I'll bring in our next guest, and I'm really, oh gosh, I feel like I should offer you a slot on the next show after we get this problem fixed, because hopefully it's something that it's going to be fixed this week. So there's
one comment I was going to answer really quick. Yeah, if you want, I do guys doublets. As you can see, that's more of the jerkin style, but I've made my brother the doublet that goes to the knees, and they can get really decorative if somebody wants. Oh, she disappeared again. Oh dear. You can recommend through the Etsy, or you can contact.
Can you all hear me? I don't know. Somebody say something in the comments if you can hear me but not see me. I cannot see me, but it seems like I'm present with you guys. Let's see. Oh, what? Cassie?
Yeah. Hi. Is there a way to switch the camera on this? Oh, she froze. Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to start. I'm Cassie, and I have a page called 6 Impossible Things Card Reading and Guidance. I also make and sell pendulums from raw or rough or imperfect crystals, because those are honestly my favorite to work with. I just feel like the energy is better and stuff like that. Like the ones that are all perfectly shaped and tumbled to be absolutely perfect, it just feels like they've been processed too much. So I can bring this over here and show you some of my already made products. I also just dropped keychains for this event. I was super excited and got super creative. I have all sorts of different types of themes. I can do kind of spooky. I can do steampunk. I've got some really cool dragon claws as end pieces. Prices vary for the pendulums. They go from about $20 to $35, and then $8 shipping inside the US. All of my crystals are hand-picked from local vendors from my area, places that I know sell reputable stuff. They don't sell like burnt amethyst and call it citrine. They'll be honest with you and tell you what type of products you're getting, and they'll let me go through their cases and touch and work with the crystals as much as I want. When I get them home, then I cleanse them. I have garden sage and I have lavender that I work with to cleanse them because they do let people touch their crystals. And then my favorite thing to do is make customs, where I let people choose their ends. And you see I have a very wide variety of things. I have a ton of steampunks, which is just my favorite. But I have a ton of options. I have keychain options. Keychains are a bit cheaper than the pendulums. Those go for about $10. So yes, and like I said, if you have a specific crystal you want to work with, you can request it. I'll let you know how much it'll be. And again, my most expensive is $35, and that's usually only if you get an expensive crystal and one of the really, really elaborate ends. I try to keep it affordable. And then also down here, I have various decks that I do card readings with. I am an intuitive empath. That means that I work with my intuition. I don't just read what's in the book and copy and paste it and send it to you. I'll go through, I'll tell you. As an empath, I work really well with emotions. I connect really well with people's emotions and the subconscious. I'm a super big fan of Alice in Wonderland, so I have 2 decks right here for that. And they work really well together and play really well together. They're a lot of fun to use, and I just love all things whimsical and fantasy, and so these cards speak to me as well. I have an Angel Crystal deck, which these decks are just beautiful, and they talk to you about crystals, which obviously from my pendulums, I'm a big fan. And then this baby here. Hi there.
Hi. Oh
Hi,
gosh.
see you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry and apologetic. I don't even know if you heard anything about what I was saying. Like, I was like, I can't see anything, and maybe I should just call the show today and invite you to come back next week so that you don't have I just didn't want to have you feel like you were just getting half of the service, basically, if you will. I mean, I don't know if service is the right word, but no, I can hear and see you just fine. I've actually switched away from the whole setup that I was at and gone to the alternate backup setup here.
Okay.
So, which is more hopefully directly connected. And I can give the screen back to you. I have not heard anything you've said though so far. So please pardon me if I ask questions that are repetitive of something you've already said. So.
Well, I can skim back over my pendulums then, because I was just...
Oh, I had wanted to see those. Just like show me a couple, please. And I'm going to turn the big screen over to you here. I'm going to embiggen you.
Talking about how I just have such a wide variety of items I work with. These are my pre-made. My pendulums go from $20 to $35, just depending on the cost of the crystal and the cost of the end piece I use. Like this dragon one with the little glass ball is super cute. I just started dropping keychain pendulums, and those are about $10 a piece. right
These
here.
are
This one,
really cool. I like how you've got all these different stones in the bottom of them, actually. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm like here and back and you guys can hear me.
and
Um,
I get all of my stones from a local vendor near me. They let me go in, they let me touch the crystals, work with the crystals. So like if you were to say, hey, I really want an amethyst, and I could say I have some available, or I can go pick some for you, and then I have a ton of end pieces too as well. Steampunk's one of my favorite flavors, as we can see. But I
a
have,
ton of options. This is there, and your crystal, they just look beautiful. I
and
kind
I
of
do have
have a
some
little
of my
pendulum
crystals that
collection,
I
to be honest.
pre-bought up here. Not all of them for sure, but
Oh, cool. What are these? Those are just kind of loose stones there.
yeah, those are ones that I picked for pendulums. I just haven't made yet. Because I actually made 8 for your show last week, and I posted a video, and they kind of all sold. So I scrambled to make all these. Finished a lot of them today.
Yes.
But and then I have my cards down here.
All right, go for it. Let's see what you got.
Things. My page name actually comes from an Alice in Wonderland quote. You believe in 6 impossible things before breakfast. So my 2 main decks are these 2 Alice in Wonderland ones right here. You can't really see this one, but they play really well together. I pair them together in a Wisdom from Wonderland kind of reading. I have an Angel Crystals deck just because from all my pendulum work, I obviously love crystals.
Can you hold that? So I realize that you're holding your camera on one hand. So hold those quite a bit closer so we can get a real good close up of them, if you will. Yeah. Oh wait.
I don't know how to flip
Is that
the
the art of?
screen.
Is it Jasmine Beckett Griffith that on that Alice one? It sure is.
Yes, it sure is.
I love her artwork. I mean, who doesn't? But and
Yes.
yeah. So that is super cute.
This one is for my moon lovers. It's Spirit de la Lune. And these are just
round cards. Cool.
Yes. And what's really cool about the round cards is that you can read them upright, you can read them reversed, you can read them going in the wrong direction, you can read them working towards the right direction. They have a lot of
What does the other side look like?
They shine. They're holographic. I love them. I'm obsessed. Wow. My friend bought them for me, and it was the most beautiful gift I've ever received. These here are an Angels in Your Business deck. They are for small business advice and tips. So these are my 4 main decks right now. I do have a ton of decks, but 10 minutes wouldn't cover.
Oh, right. So can you maybe elaborate a little bit on if I was a first time customer wanting to get a reading, all of the decks are going to be a vast mystery to me, right? And how might I decide from the options that you have there, how might I decide what is going to best suit or help me get to answers or at least some guidance that I'm looking for? How would I go about picking one of these?
I would go through, kind of talk to you about like the energy of these cards. These 2 really are my main deck. They're the ones I give away 1 card readings a lot, especially when I put a new deck in to play. So on my page, I'll do 1 card readings for everybody, and I also give group energy readings with each deck. So you get a feel of that from my page. But I have no problem. A lot of people will mix and match, or they'll just tell me to go with what I feel is best. So they just kind of. They kind of. If they don't know, then they refer to your expertise. They have a specific, like energy, like this read as a Rider-Waite tarot deck. So those are the tarots, and those go into more in depth than oracles, but oracles are a bit more gentle. Yep. So, and then the angel deck is really sweet. It's a bit gentler. So if you're in a real sensitive kind of place and you need like a gentle little nudge, those are really great for that. Spirit de la Lune is if you have like a lot of in-depth, because I can read these 4 different ways. a lot goes into a reading from one of those. A 3-card reading for one of those could take me up to 20 minutes just to talk to you about all the energies in the card and why this position here and that position there and the images on it. I mean, these are just beautiful, beautiful colors,
Now,
beautiful images.
can I ask a question also? So again, if we were to presume that I am the kindergartner of having readings, and I have never had one before, what does it mean to have a 3-card reading versus, I would assume, a less card reading or a more card reading? So what does that mean exactly?
A 3-card reading means that I just get the information from 3 cards. And sometimes it could be the past, present, and future of a situation. Sometimes if you want to make a decision, it could be decision 1, decision 2, and just general advice. Or it could just be generally what's going on. It depends on the question. It depends on what you want. I really let my intuition guide what a person needs. And I get a ton of first-time readers, and they're usually like, I don't know what I want. And I'm like, well, do you want a career spread? Do you want a love spread? And they're like, I don't know. Can I get a little bit of something? So I'll say, okay, well, I'll pull a card for your career. I'll pull a card for your relationship. I'll pull a card for any general advice you need to hear.
So, and I'm so glad you're saying that too, because if you've never had something like that before, you might not even know what options there are to ask for, right?
Right.
I mean, so it's like, well, what do you want? Well, I don't know. What are my options? So that's a very good.
I love to work with spiritual guidance. I'm an empath, so I work a lot with emotions and the subconscious. So if you're really like torn about something emotionally, or you need to sort through your emotions and you're clouded and you don't know what you're really thinking and what is your logic and what is your anxiety, I kind of help sort through all that.
That is wonderful. Well, now you also are doing the magic word today, correct? Because we're coming up, it's 4:54. Huh. I'm so glad at least I got to be not participating. All I can say is like thank you to you and everybody prior to you today so much for like just rolling with the horrible bowling ball that was I just feel so embarrassed about it.
It's okay. Well, it's Mercury retrograde, so communication's a huge issue right now, and I'm really good at rolling with the punches.
Well, I also am led to understand that yesterday, I guess, or at some point over the night, we also had a full moon, and every single one of the 9 planets in our solar system aligned, has been or is or aligned, came into alignment last night. So crazy amounts of energy, because I guess that's not supposed to happen for another 160 years or something. Quite a long time. So
like my 2-year-old is very sensitive just to moon cycles, and there was also an eclipse, and there's also I believe
there was a lunar eclipse. That's right, there was. I saw that.
And she hasn't slept all week.
Oh.
So I completely get it.
Nevertheless, I feel like I should just extend to all of you a permanent, like, if you would like to come back in the near future sometime and have a show that does not have all of these horrible hiccups, like, you are all please welcome back to do that. I'm just it's so embarrassing, and I'm sorry. But you guys,
a lot of fun.
Thank you. Well, thank you. So I wanted to just say ask real quick. So you're doing the magic word, and which means that anybody who purchases from you here within the next week gets a bonus. Did you want to have your bonus remain a surprise, or is it something you'd like to share with the audience?
Oh, no, my bonus is actually going to be a 3-card reading, just like you were asking about.
Well, there you go then. That explains that. All right.
Whether you purchase a reading from me, and then you'll get another one that you can get for either a different topic or a different time, or if you get a pendulum, you'll also get a 3-card reading.
Now, you may have said this, and so I apologize. I apologize if I missed it. When you do your readings, how do you do them? Are they live, similar to how we're doing here, or Skype or Zoom, or not at all?
I have kids, so I actually work best through Messenger, just because like they're super chaotic. I actually tried to do a reading while my daughter was awake, and she dumped water on a couple of my decks, and because she's 2. So I have to work around her schedule, which is a little bit unpredictable. So if I can shoot you and you get big, long, detailed messages from me, and I'm available at any point after that for any clarity and clarifications.
Okay, that is perfect. Well, thank you so much for being on the show then this afternoon. Happy 4th of July yesterday. I hope you were not too plagued by the crazy abundance. I feel like everybody just went hog wild with fireworks this year because they've been so trapped inside. But I hope it was not too overwhelming for you and rather enjoyable. So
yeah, it was pretty good. So thank you so much for having me.
no, absolutely. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. So we'll bid you adieu.
All right, bye.
Well, everybody, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for hanging in there because I see that there's actually still quite a few of you out there watching. And wow, I super appreciate it. And I'm so sorry about all of the hiccups. I mean, if you watch our other shows, you know that this has actually kind of been an ongoing worsening issue over the last couple of weeks. And this is the first time that it has so directly impacted any one of the shows. And I really thank you for hanging in there. Thank you, vendors, for doing awesome while I was in and out. Couldn't tell if I was in or out. And I do. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like, I feel like I really want to give you guys a good show. And so you are all welcome to come back here in the near future and truly get a good time slot without this crazy interruption where we can have our interaction and conversation also with you guys out there in the audience, because I love taking your guys' questions and passing them along and bringing those into the show. So I hope everybody did have a good 4th of July. Today is Sunday, which means we will be back here with you on Wednesday. Tomorrow is the day off. And that's I say really, really loosely. And so we will be back with you here Wednesday for Fae News, and then of course on Friday for author reads. And I am very excited about this Friday's author reads too. I would encourage you all to tune in. The author that we're having does some very cool stuff on her own. I don't want to spoil it too much for you guys, but she does some pretty cool things on her own media, and she is just, we've had a lot of impasses at trying to get her on the show, but her vibe is so cool and good. And so just like, it's already up. You guys can go and set a reminder so you get a notification. And then of course, after next, that will be Sunday again, and we'll be back with Handmade Home Shopping. So anyway, thank you everybody. And I bid you adieu. Have a good afternoon.